be going all the way from Burleson to the other side of White Settlement, kind of, I guess, by the lake. So, pretty hefty run. About a 31-minute travel, 23 minutes from pickup. Plus, I had to go about the same for the arrival of the pickup. So, pretty big delivery. Mostly for I think it's for potted soil, is what it looks like, or something similar to that nature. So we're about to pull into Crowley, and all you Cole Spivey fans know that I lived in Crowley for at least a couple of years. I know it started in 2004. I think we left there 2000, maybe like end of 2006, so 2.5 years. I even did some Dallas Children's Theater, and believe it or not, the lighting designer, guy that worked the lighting, he for that show, for the Dallas Children's Theater show out in Dallas, he actually lived in Crowley. And one time when I had to replace a tire, he gave me a ride a few times to rehearsals and everything. I also wrote some short stories here. I wrote one that I like called Blind Crossing. It's under my name. I wrote it under my name. And I also was part of a poetry workshop. And it was when I was married to my first wife, Sarah. And we lived in a little place in Crowley for, well, we lived off one of the main roads right by the railroad tracks for 1 year. And then we moved right across the way to off of West Mustang. And we lived in these duplexes there for about a year. And that's where I did the writing workshop. And it was like a poetry workshop. And also, she got me my first PS2. And I became kind of like a gamer. And then I switched it over to PS3 when we moved to Fort Worth. And got rid of my PS2, which I kind of regret a little bit. I like the PS2, but PS3 is pretty cool too, the PlayStation 3. Did that for a while, and then I think when we were living in the place in Fort Worth is when she got the radio tickets to see David Lynch and Inland Empire. We went to the premiere, Inland Empire, and that's where I, got to talk to him about script writing and stuff like that. It was a pretty cool moment. I kind of owe it to her for getting those tickets. It's actually a friend of hers that was in radio, because she was studying at American Broadcast School. She's kind of a poet herself, and she got into radio, and she did that class for maybe like a half a year. Studied on her own. She was a big Psych fan, if you know the program Psych, and Monk. She also liked Monk. And Lost. She would have me watch a lot of episodes of Lost, which I thought was pretty cool too. I did audition as an actor too. I went to like My 27, a little soap opera audition. They didn't like me. Then I went to a few others here and there. I landed one little B film called Backpage that was shot in Fort Worth, and we did that for a while, and did a little bit of community theater, not a whole lot. Mostly like the Dallas Children's Theater was one thing I worked on. It was a Charlotte's Web production, which I think they're doing right now at Casa Manana. This is Farm 1187 right here. Now we head 20 west, all the way to the other side of White Settlement, drop off this potter soil. think this is a Home Depot drop to another Home Depot. So they were looking for a specific type of potter soil. It's almost like rocks. It's like these type of rocks you put in the garden. They may not have had the right ones at one Home Depot. So I'll be traveling from the Burleson Home Depot to, I believe, the White Settlement Home Depot. And it's a pretty good amount too. You know, amount of pay. It's not like incredible amount, but it's better than normal. It's only 3 bags of potter soil. It's not exactly potter soil. It's more like rocks that you'd put in the garden. It's got a different name. But potter, I think, is on the title of it. They're soft pellets. They're water softener, salt pellets. A water softener, salt pellets. I believe it's going to a Home Depot. But I'm following the app. Home Depot to Home Depot. It's kind of hard to say. Home Depot to Home Depot. It's a good tongue twister for the morning. Home Depot to Home Depot. Home Depot to Home Depot. It out. This is actually another person's delivery. She's bringing out the other delivery, so they had me come here to pick up another delivery. So I guess they're just doing that for logistics. To bring it out, but I guess she got shy. I'll have to go pick up this one, then we'll have a full load. Right. So I always kind of check or double check dealing with this kind of stuff. It can get this way with most all the apps. You get used to it after a while. Like I said, I don't do roadie a lot. So I just thought maybe they were just crazy, but what it was is that was this, there were 2 orders. They're not real clear on how they do it, but there were 2 orders that need to be picked up. So they don't make it completely foolproof. So we'll have to drive all the way back another 15 miles into the Crowley area and then drop off this soft water pellet and then head back. So we're doing double the work. So there's a reason for this, but I'm not going to get into the logistics. I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but it's just not foolproof. And so if you submit 2, then be wary when you're starting to drop off the other, because that's probably the pickup of the other one. I call it a chalkboard. Well, this may not be as bad as I think. Hang on. Let me double check. I do all the logistics because it's having me going west towards Weatherford, so it may not be as bad as I thought, depending on how far this was anyway. But why it had me stop by that Home Depot real quick, it could have been, well, it would have been about the same, because I would have taking this way to Weatherford anyway. I got to check everything. When it gets chalkboardy, what I mean by that is that it just allows you to kind of choose whatever on, if you had 2 of them, for example, because I have 2 of them. It needs to be more reary. And Uber was really bad about this too. DoorDash not as bad. Grubhub, they had it figured out. So Grubhub had it figured out. But they're out of Chicago, you know. They got everything figured out. Usually they have to or they'll freeze. This one was going to Aledo anyway. So what happened was it had me go, which I thought it was having me go to White Salt Home Depot. That was the second one. Then when I arrived there, it is foolproof because it said don't complete this order until completing the first order. So why it would even give me the option to go there, I don't know. These are the things you have to stay very attuned to and pay attention to while you're doing, I guess especially roadie. With runner, you don't really have to do that as much. You have to do it a little bit because it gives you like 2 options. But anyway, we're gonna be patient. We're gonna drop this one off. It was going to Aledo anyway, so I had to get to this highway anyway. So it'll be another, I don't know, 11 miles. It'll be another 11 miles to Aledo to drop the powder off, or the salt. It's really a water softener salt. And then we'll pick up the next order, which looks like a pretty hefty order. So I don't really know how much both these orders are together. But I've talked to some people that have done roadie, and they said it's pretty good. We'll find out. I'll give you all the information. I'll just tell you the information, though. I'm not going to show you. I'm going to show you the driving, but I'm not going to show you inserts and things like that. I kind of stick to just diegetic, you know, what I'm doing. If you don't know what diegetic is, please look it up. You should know that if you're in filmmaking. But it means that I show you what I'm doing, or, you know, to a certain degree. I show you the road, show you the actions of what I go through. But I don't really do a lot of inserts to show footage of their software and their program and things like that, out of respect. I do show the Google Maps, or this is actually Apple Maps, sorry. All right, so 7:22 is the arrival time. It's only 7:08 right now, so 7:22 will be arrival. And we'll be dropping off, and then we'll be heading back. I'm assuming probably hitting the other Home Depot maybe around 7:40. Hopefully having that one dropped off by about 8 o'clock. I personally try to take Home Depot when I'm dealing with roadie. I avoid Walmart. It's a mess. Walmart, it's just a mess. If anyone knows any tricks to the trade on Walmart and roadie, let me know. It's just the wait time is it exceeds, you know, what you can possibly deal with. And you have to deal with a lot of politics. When I mean that, I mean politics, okay? With Home Depot, they usually just give it to you, you're in and out, you know? There's also a pharmaceutical thing where you just go into the pharmaceutical, you go into the pharmacy, pick it up, and then you're out and you drop it off, you know? You have to do a lot of ID checks with that one. So I try to avoid the Walmarts until they get it together, you know? There's just too many online stuff, and it could have been because of the holidays, I don't know. Anyway, we'll be dropping this off soon. We just arrived on farm 1187. Many of the farm roads do have, you know, quite the view. All right, pulling into Aledo. Looks like Aledo's doing some excavating. looks like we pulled into a netta. Got about 2 more miles and we'll head back to the other Home Depot. Pick up the second batch of work. And we'll drop that off at your doorstep as well. Here comes some cows.
Go cow moo moo. Moo moo cow moo. See there, I drove by that cow and went moo.
Well, I could have talked to the cow, but it would have been strange. Hello, cow. How are you doing? Just wondering if you're okay, cow. It'd be funny if he stuck his head up and said, I'm trying to eat grass. What's it up to you? Moo. Well, I just wondering how you doing. Well, mind your own business. If the cow said that, boy, I get a lot of views on that one. Talking cow in the middle of pasture. Talking smack at the drive-by or guy driving by. Look at this right here. Oh, this is new right here, probably. Deer Creek. It's a really common name for a road, Deer Creek. One worked and the other worked. They both work. One's fancy and the other's fancy. Finally, 0.2 miles. And this one is saying 350 feet. That gives you a little address right there too. I like ooh, deer running across fields or running across someone's yard. Right over there. There's a bunch of them. We're gonna just go say hi to some deer right here. About 3 of them. They don't look really that scared. Must be the domesticated type of deer. There goes one of them. God, there's like 4 of them. One over there too. They're all white. Oh, 5. There's 5 all running through that way. You get used to it after a while, these little, small little... Oh, there's a bunch of them over that way. I think it said 105. More of them over this way. Well, deer? Domesticated deer, they're all over the place. It's like Attack of the Deer. gotta keep your distance from them, though. They do get spooked. There's a squirrel over there, too. There's his friend right there. Seeing if I have any apples. Yeah, there's like 6 of them back there. And 2 of them over that way. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 of them? Four of them back there. You gotta be at the spear of the deer to understand the deer. I've been deer hunting myself, so that's the reason why I'm seeing this. You might find a few out there. Looks like maybe a golf course or something similar. Way out here in Old Anetta.